For the first time in 13 years, football returns to Baltimore. Vinny and the Ravens look to take it to their 80s. The Johnson administration begins in Miami. The Bengals welcome Lawrence Phillips to the NFL. The Steelers lose their main man on D. In Houston, the Oilers try to dish up some defense. The Marshall Plan keeps plugging in Indy. In the North, the Vikings get a major scare as Moon is grounded. While for the Pack, the league's MVP has his sights set on the Bucs. The 49ers look to shore up their running game with a sure thing. So get yourself pumped up. The quest for the Lombardi begins now. Week 1, NFL Primetime is next. Once again, everybody, I'm Chris Berman, and welcome to Week 1 of NFL Primetime. Kickoff 96. We kick off our 10th season of Primetime, and back with the full complement. Tom Jackson and the judge, Bill Pito. Week 1, well, it never started earlier than this. September 1st, we're ready for you. Let's get you caught up on the late games going on around the NFL, some of which are final. Jimmy Johnson, 1-for-1 as coach of the Dolphins. They beat the New England Patriots 24-10. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had some good hook shots, also ran for 100 yards. New Orleans went into San Francisco where they upset the Niners last year. Not the case this year. The Niners got on them early. They lead at 27-11 now with about 3.5 to go at 3Com Park. The Green Bay Packers got all over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They lost there last year, and they remembered. Brett Favre, 4 touchdowns, 3 to ordinary Keith Jackson. And Green Bay beat Tampa Bay 34-3. About 3.5 to go at the Murph, and San Diego all over the Seattle Seahawks 29-7. Carney has a couple long field goals. And the Jets went out to Denver, and they were a mile low. The Broncos early and often also under 6 minutes to go in this game now. We understand 3 minutes. And the Broncos lead at 31-0, just about everything in the first half. 8 sacks of Neil O'Donnell. He is now out of the game. The Carolina Panthers get to have firsts in each of their first 2 seasons. Last year, of course, their inaugural season in the NFL. And as an expansion team, they went 7-9, breaking all the first-year marks. This year, though, they open up what many have said who have seen it. We have not yet, personally. The best stadium in football, Ericsson Stadium. And as the Atlanta Falcons found out, this is no expansion team as they set foot in what we're now going to call the Panthers' lair. And here we go from Charlotte, downtown Charlotte. Commissioner Tagliabue, the owner, Mr. Richardson, Jerry Richardson on hand. First drive in the new stadium. Hey, why not have the youngster, Kerry Collins, throw a touchdown to Mark Carrier. 7-0 Panthers. Now in the second quarter, it's 10-3. One of the few bright spots for Atlanta was Jeff George. And chances are he'll find Terrence Mathis. That diminutive one goes 55 yards down to the Carolina 23-yard line. 3 plays later, 3rd and inches. Ironhead. No, sir. Sam Mills, who had a great season last year, and the Panther defense stacked him up, holding a field goal 10-6.
Yeah, and you see Kerry Collins here making use of one of his new weapons. Tight end Wesley Walls beating the defense to the outside, and then Walls again for a 16-yard gain here. Runs a nice corner route. Gets to the outside. Perfect delivery by Collins.
And if you have some running, you got to be careful. We called it watching the game. Play action on from the 1-yard line. Walls is wide open. Touchdown. And look at this. Boom. And a little Mark Knopfler, dire straits. It's 20-6 Panthers. But Dom Capers has a defense.
And Capers a master of when to blitz and when to get on the quarterback. Dwayne Beckett right there sacks Jeff George. Then Lamar Latham comes in. And we looked at the end of the day, and you saw 7 sacks by the Panthers. They totally control the Falcons' run and shoot
including
defense.
One of the new ones, Tommy, Kevin Green. He says, we used to do this stuff in Pittsburgh. And the Panthers, the defense was outstanding. At one point, the first downs were 22-5 before Atlanta picked up some in garbage time. And Kevin Green and the Panthers are all over the Atlanta Falcons, 29-6. So they're 2 for 2 against the Falcons in Carolina, beating them in Clemson last year. Oh, by the way, John Casey had 5 field goals, 53, 42, and 3 of 30-plus. Biaka Batuka had 69 yards. Tommy, basically what we're trying to say is here about the Carolina Panthers. this is an expansion team?
Well, you're talking about a team that's playing the 17th game in the franchise's history, yet they look poised. They are the team that comes out and doesn't beat themselves. You saw the 5 field goals by the special teams. Timmy Biakapatuka controlling the ball, not turning it over. And when you see the Panthers make use of the tight end against the Atlanta Falcons, remember that the Falcons do not work with a tight end in their run and shoot during the course of the week. So this tight end problem for them will be one that prevails over the history of this series.
And Tommy, you know, they played 17 games in their history. They're 8-9. They're like they already look like the Kansas City Royals, like they were in baseball, immediately establishing themselves as a playoff team. I would not be surprised to see the Panthers finish second in the NFC West. What a great start for Carolina in front of 72,685. When we return, Eagles and Redskins, Irving Fryer says it's the best team he's ever been on. Well, the Redskins kind of agree.
Need a cell phone? You got it. A pager? It's here. The internet? Long-distance service? With MCI One, you not only get a package deal, you get to decide what's in the package. MCI One. Life just got simpler.
Silver Bullet. It's shipped cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies. Tap the Rockies! The new Coors Light Wide Mouth can is here with a giant opening for a smoother pour.
Nice. Not bad. Not bad.
Not
Step
bad.
back.
All right, Dan, let's see that famous fast release.
We'll see it again?
All right, John.
Okay, here we go.
You can do a little better now. Let's see.
What's he doing? He's scrambling. Duck!
Get real.
Logo Athletic, authentic team apparel.
Critics are calling Bulletproof hilarious, clever, and fresh.
Rude that.
Wayans and Sandler make a great action comedy team.
I gotta learn how to fight. This is pathetic.
Damon Wayans, Adam Sandler. Bulletproof. Rated R. Starts Friday.
The internet question of the day. What's an easy way to get on the net and hop around for 5 hours at no extra cost? MCI One. Life on the internet just got simpler.
It looks like Independence Day with those flying helmets. Well, if the Dallas Cowboys stumble at all, and let's face it, that is a large if in the NFC East, 2 teams hoping to move right in, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins. But the more things change, i.e. the Redskins starting their 4th different opening day quarterback in 4 years, the more things remain the same. Philly has beaten the Redskins 7 straight times. Could they make it 8? At RFK we go. Rodney Peete playing with that knee brace after injuring himself a couple of weeks ago. He had reason to smile. Leading receiver in the preseason, Chris T. Jones. Leading receiver of everybody, a 15-yard pickup to the right side. Then Pete to Irving Fryer, knifing through the defense, 18 yards, 7-0 Eagles.
Yeah, and Tom Carter here allows Irving Fryer to get a little bit too much on top of him down in the red zone. Fryer breaks inside for a touchdown.
But the Eagles special teams let him down. But basically, Brian Mitchell is about as good as there is in football. ESPN's Tommy Hutton missed the tackle there. Finally tackled by Ray Farmer. A big return of 49 yards. Sets up a Terry Allen touchdown, 7-7. Pete looks right again. Looks for the tight end, Jason Dunn. And he'll rumbling, bumbling, stumbling after Stanley Richard was handcuffed. The sheriff, 54 yards. This sets up Pete to Jones against Tom Carter again. Not bad coverage, but a touchdown, 9 yards, 17-7 Eagles at the half. 310 to 77 the yards for Philadelphia. But down 17-7. Here comes Washington. Terry Allen, and what a great story this is, Tom. Look at the run.
Yeah, Terry Allen with that great burst, and once he gets behind the defense, it's all over.
Then the second half, after Allen gets him in the game, well, Washington does some things differently defensively.
Yeah, this is a great adjustment defensively by the Redskins. They give Carter some help, and they give it in the form of Darrell Green. And how long has he been doing this, Chris?
Well, he didn't get much better help than that. Rodney Peete to Charlie Garner, but Darrell Green is Johnny on the spot. He pops up. It's a fumble! Then Pete throwing to Green's side. Oh, Darrell almost makes the pick. And the defense now making a stand here in the second half. Gus Frerotte, they love him in Washington, but today, Gus Frerotte was... But today, Gus Frerotte was, today, Gus Frerotte was, well, hop on the bus, Gus, because here comes the blitz. No need to be coy, Roy. Just get yourself free. You can't do it. Gus will have better days, so will Norv Turner, but they've got 8 in a row now to the Philadelphia Eagles, and Ray Rhodes again. Teams winning the close games. They don't hurt themselves. Rodney Peete there for 269 yards. And the youngster, Chris T. Jones, remember the name, folks, 6 catches for 82 yards, so the Redskins lose it despite 111 by Terry Allen. And not a great... You know, Washington swept Dallas last year, Tom, but they were 4-10 against everybody else. I mean, they'll figure that out, but not a great start in this big quarterback decision here.
No, and when you see Terry Allen putting up over 100 yards and then Gus Frerotte not able to take advantage of that, I think that's very discouraging for Norv Turner and his group. Actually, the best play that the Redskins had all day was Brian Mitchell returning the ball. Now, the only problem is you have to let the other team score in order to set that play up. I guess if you only let them have a field goal, maybe eventually you can overtake them.
Right, just limit them to
but
field
not
goal.
allowing the touchdowns.
Yeah, Brian Mitchell was excellent, but the Eagles get the win, and the playoff team looks like they're on that path at least after week 1 again. Wow, as we go inside the numbers, last year when the Eagles beat the Redskins, it was more running. But today we told you Rodney's Peete, 20 for 34, 269 yards. And today, all told, you subtract a little bit with the sacks, 258 yards passing today. See, last year in the 2 wins, they had over 200 yards rushing a game. Today it was passing, and the Eagles get the same result. They win.
Inside the Numbers is brought to you by Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be.
When we return, the judge checks in on the Marshall Plan. Could Falk lead the Colts to victories over those Cards? Chris Sanders beat Dale Carter, but Dale Carter and the Chiefs had the last laugh.
I'll buy 10 of these. You're Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders? It's him. You're the greatest, man. Mind if I get a picture? Thanks, bro. You mind if I write a check? Sure, Deion. I'm just going to need to see some ID. Say what? Yes, like a driver's license, a library card.
Checks. What a pain.
Is your license? Employee ID.
But now there's a better way. The Visa Check Card. It's an ATM card with a Visa logo that deducts from your checking account automatically everywhere Visa's accepted.
I'm going to have to call to see if you can cover this.
The Visa Check Card works just like a check, only better.
You love Jock Jams Volume 1. Now,
look what we got.
ESPN and Tommy Boy Music give you Jock Jams Volume 2.
I like to move it.
Jock Jams Volume 2. More of the hottest crowd-pumping jams of all time. Jock Jams Volume 2. Available in record stores everywhere.
This is how we do it.
The Wall Street Journal keeps you on the cutting edge with news and insights that can affect you personally and professionally. Subscribe now and have the Journal delivered to your home or office. And with your paid subscription, you'll also receive our free personal finance software.
Weeknights on the Discovery Channel. Wild. Just how close can you get? Just how aggressive can it be? Survival. Every weeknight all week. Sometimes it's speed and style. Sometimes it's numbers and amazing strength. Awesome and untamed. As fast and streamlined as survival gets. Hunters. Hunters of the African Plain. On Wild Discovery. Every weeknight at 8 Eastern and Pacific on the Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
September 4th on TNN.
Come on in. Get behind the scenes.
This is your backstage pass, yeah.
To the Fruit of the Loom All-Star Country Fest 96 preview party.
It's the big one.
The biggest one.
It's the biggest country concert in the world.
The fans are incredible.
The Fruit of the Loom All-Star Country Fest 96 preview party, September 4th, 8 Eastern on TNN.
We'll see you backstage. It's right here on TNN.
Some cards in this one and some family issues. Bill Tobin is the Colts Director of Football Operations. Vince Tobin used to be the Colts defensive coordinator. Today, his first game as head coach of Arizona. So focused are the brothers that Bill says he hasn't talked to brother Vince in a month. This is the first time the brothers have opposed each other at any level. Lindy Infante, the new coach of the Colts, last year, of course, a coordinator with Vince Tobin, but today opposing each other as head coaches. Jim Harbaugh from Palo Alto High School. That's critical information. Hands off to Marshall Faulk, taken down by the rookie Simeon Rice, his first career tackle. Another rookie, Leland McElroy for the Cards. He'll pick up 4 here. Good game from McElroy, 17 carries, 63 yards. 3rd and 4 now. Esiason, Boomer Esiason, rolling. Knocked out of bounds, first down. And, you know, Boomer says, so far as a Cardinal, so good. But second quarter, Colts down 6-zip. Harbaugh the fake connects with Zach Crockett, and we have a touchdown. So the Colts are now up by the score of 7-6. Colts next possession. Harbaugh in the pocket, hit by the helmet of Eric Swan. Harbaugh would leave the game for the rest of the first half with a bruised arm. So Craig Erickson, of course, is gone. The Colts go to Paul Justin. 3rd and 10. Justin, the dump pass to Falk on the game. 4 catches, 62 yards. On this play, 18 yards for a first down. Sets up a field goal. Colts were up 10-6 at the half. Harbaugh would come back early in the 3rd. We now are late in the 4th. 13-6 Colts. Harbaugh back to pass. A developing situation. The rookie, Marvin Harrison. Welcome to the National Football League. 20-6 Colts.
Yeah, and a great pattern here by Marvin Harrison, but it's good coverage by Aeneas Williams, but the technique at the end, getting the arm in, getting the separation, Marvin Harrison is going to be a great one.
20-6 Colts, 1:22 left in the game. Esiason into the end zone. Marcus Dowdell, the intended receiver. Interference, so on Jason Belzer. So the Cards move up to 1st and goal on the 1. Esiason, great fake, and he's going to scoot in there, if you want to call it scooting in there. Cards down 20-13. Cards try the onside kick. Who's got it? I got it. You got it. Who's got Cards have it? The Cards have it. They're down 7. From the Colts 22, they're down 7. 9 seconds to go. Esiason for overtime. Eugene Daniel knocks it away. Daniel, the 13-year vet who missed most of the preseason with a bad shoulder, comes up big down the stretch. Harbaugh says, oh, we escape. As the Colts win it by the score of 20-13. Infante wins his first game as Colts head coach. Vince Tobin loses his first game as Arizona's head coach. Esiason, you saw the numbers on him. 25 of 38, 237 yards. Not bad in his first game as a quarterback for Arizona. Harbaugh, 16 of 25, 196 yards. And Chris, no word as to whether or not Vince Tobin is going to go to the Tobin family barbecue after that one.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, it is Labor Day, so put another shrimp on the Barbie. Well, a team that the Colts upended in the playoffs last year, the Kansas City Chiefs, Billy. People forget, I mean, it wasn't Dallas, it wasn't San Francisco, it wasn't the Packers, it wasn't Pittsburgh that had the best record in football last year. It was the Kansas City Chiefs, who were 13-3, and they've also, under Marty Schottenheimer, won 6 straight opening day games. A very sound, fundamental team. The Houston Oilers in a very difficult situation because they're kind of a lame duck team, and it's the crowd at the Astrodome is kind of like a Stroh's Pods businessman special on a Tuesday afternoon. They get only 27,725. The Astros average 30,000 for their Sunday afternoon games. The Oilers' best hope against the Chiefs? Could Jeff Bagwell go deep? Now, we're not being sarcastic because we got to give the nod to the Oilers coaches and players because hey, you're only playing in front of 27,000 on opening day. But as they did late last year, as a lame duck team, they played hard. Now, Steve Bono realized they could play real hard. Joe Bowden with the hit. Hits it from Kendrick Burton falls on it. Oilers ball. First and 4, Del Greco field goals. 3-0 Houston. Still in the first quarter. Chris Chandler to former Chief Willie Davis. He's wide open. 10-0 Oilers, smelling upset.
Yeah, and a mistake by All-Pro corner Dale Carter. Watch him here. He gets his head back into the backfield, and he never refines Willie Davis. This is as easy a touchdown as the Oilers will have all year.
Davis's departure, Tom. The only change of starter on either side of the ball for the Chiefs is Tamarick Vanover. And look at him. I got it. It's a touchdown from Steve Bono. 10-7 Oilers. Now the Chiefs trail at 16-10. And where's Lake Dawson? Touchdown. 23 yards. I got you, babe. 17-16 Chiefs at the half. A good first half. Eddie George early, what?
Yeah, rough first half for Eddie George. Rough game for Eddie George, not finding the seam and then backing out of there and losing 4 yards.
11 carries, 6 yards in the first half. Looked like Phyllis George. Fourth quarter, 20-16 Chiefs. Chris Chandler scrambles, and look at the quarterback dive, lower the shoulder, and get the first down. Then Eddie George, though, looking like Eddie George. Charges forward for 9 yards. 4th and goal. Jeff Fisher says we're down 4. I'm going with Al Del Greco. There are 9 minutes to go, so it's 20-19. Then the Oilers keep coming. Louis Aguilar's punt blocked by Ronnie Harmon, the veteran. The Chiefs recover, but it's the Oilers' ball at the Chiefs' 34. 2:08 left. Al Del Greco from 55. No good. He couldn't get his 5th field goal, but the Oilers with a minute 38 to go get one last chance from his own 20. Down 20-19, Chris Chandler goes deep. Remember we showed you Dale Carter turned around before? He comes back and makes the interception. They paid him the big bucks. This is part of the reason why. Steps in front of Chris Sanders, and the Chiefs hold on against a game Houston Oilers team 20-19. Bono 21 of 37, an economical 192. He hit Vanover 7 times, by the way. Tommy, the Chiefs escape. And look, the way things were going today, you know, a win on the road is a win on the road.
That's right.
But
well, a win is a win is a win. But I think that when we think about the Kansas City Chiefs, they may be the most intriguing team that we'll look at this year. They had the most wins in the NFL last year with 13. But when you think about some of those games, you think about the game with the Raiders, Timmy Brown running into the official, the Chiefs picking off the ball, getting into the end zone, Mark Collins at the end of another game in overtime, picking up a fumble, running it in. Now, there's a certain amount of luck that goes with having best record, getting home field. But I don't know if I can envision the Chiefs having that kind of a season this year.
But they win again on opening day, and we talked about it, both of us. You got to give the Oilers and players, this is not a bad club, folks. Yes. They were 7-9, and they almost pulled off the upset, but Kansas City wins on the road. As we roll on here on NFL Primetime, Jimmy Johnson, would he be waving hello or goodbye to his team on the first day? Vinny Testaverde as football returns to Balmer.
Question answered. A problem solved. A favor unasked. A thank you unspoken. A hand. A smile. A welcome. Little things to some, but to 250,000 people who fly American Airlines every day, it's the little things that can make that flight something special.
At the tone, the time will be 7:30 p.m.
On Monday nights, your NFL action starts at 7:30. Because between what happens on Sunday and what's coming up Monday night, there's plenty to talk about.
The time will be 7:30.
Join Mike Tirico and Sterling Sharp as they take you deep inside the NFL. Analysis, perspective, experience. It's time to catch NFL Prime Monday. Monday nights on ESPN at 7:30.
Mike Pepperoni Piazza and the Los Angeles Dodgers, our Sunday night game of the week from the bet. The Dodgers and Phillies in a critical game as the Dodgers try to cop the NL West. We'd like to welcome those of you that have watched the 49ers beat the New Orleans Saints 27-11. Also a final hello to those of you that watched the Bolts open up with a 29-7 win over the Seattle Seahawks. And welcome those of you that have watched the Denver Broncos lay one into the Jets at Mile High Stadium 31-6. Football back in Baltimore, but there are some puzzling things. First of all, Edgar Allan Poe is the hero of this team, and you know, he was kind of a different guy. Let's just leave it at that. This thing over here, this Raven logo, kind of looks like a WHA goalie's mask that might have been worn by John Cheech Garrett or somebody like that. The purple and black uniforms make the team look slow. Now, that being said, the city deserves football. Nobody ever questioned that. And welcome back football, and welcome Baltimore against an old rival, the Oakland Raiders. It's a festive day in Baltimore, as well it should. Football returning to Memorial Stadium for the first time, the NFL, since 1983. And make it official with this kickoff. Baltimore is back in the NFL business as they should have been. And back on the sidelines for Baltimore, man that led him, the Colts, to 3 division championships in the 70s, Ted Marchibroda. Vinny Testaverde to Derek Alexander, and he's brought down by Eddie Anderson at the 47-yard gain down to the 28. Then 3rd and 6. Testaverde. Now, Vinny doesn't look slow in these uniforms. Watch Vinny move. Look at Vincenzo. Moves, darts, smells the end zone. Touchdown. 4 for 4 passing, a 9-yard run. Vinny and the Ravens on the board. But, Tommy, then some trouble for the offense.
Yeah, a couple of problems in the offensive line. You see here at the bottom of your screen, Jonathan Ogden, the rookie, fighting off Chester McLaughlin. And then you see Grockton here beating out Steve Everett, who sacks Testaverde, and then Leroy Horde here stuffed for no gain.
So the Ravens rushing for just 38 yards in the first half. Testaverde sacked twice. And then the Oakland offense, despite the fact that Jeff Hostetler was on the sidelines, got going. Billy Joe Hobart to Tim Brown. Through 3 defenders. Touchdown. We're tied at 7. Still in the second. Hobart to the fine rookie tight end, Ricky Dudley, down to the 5-yard line. Then after being pushed back by a false start, by the way, the Raiders had 12 penalties. Nothing changes. Hobart to Brown for the out. Touchdown. 14-7. The Raiders. Third quarter. Raiders looking for more, but Billy Joe had jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Antonio Langham stepped in front of Tim Brown, and the Ravens are fired up. Ted Marchibroda's team cuts it to 14-10. Then more Baltimore defense. Harvey Williams, Tim Brown the reverse. No! Tim Goad makes the play behind the line of scrimmage. Then Hobart, Ricky Dudley, look at Eric Turner. Boom! Welcome back, Eric. Now 14-13, Raiders in the fourth. Testaverde to Michael Jackson down to the 43-yard line. Then more Vinny. Look at Vincenzo. Are you sure this isn't John Elway? 5-yard gain, and he gets the first down. Then 3rd and inches, Ernest Bina, the venerable one. Touchdown. He heads. No, it's not to the dog pound as he used to do. But they have an area Memorial Stadium that they've converted into the Raven's Nest or the Crow's Nest or Ravens Mavens. Or guess what? Everyone in Baltimore can fire down a cask of Amontillado tonight as the Ravens beat the Raiders 19-14. Afterwards, Ernest Biner fired up.
Ooh, hey, very sweet. I got the game ball. Hey, probably auction it off one day, you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of storybook. You know, for the city of Baltimore and the Ravens to win a game such as this, to go down in the first half, come back in the second half and fight, scratch, claw, like Coach Marchibroda says all the time, it's a great feeling.
Well, welcome back, Baltimore, and they get on the board. And as we go inside the numbers, Tom, remember the Raiders' last win is November 12th. Last year they lost 7 in a row because they turned the ball over too much.
Why weren't the Raiders like this when I was playing? I could have lost a couple more Super Bowls.
Well, they're trying to get a win. They're scratching their head because they haven't won, as I said, since the middle of November. When we return, Jerry Rice, nothing changes. He gets into the end zone different ways. Niners against the Saints. Rod Woodson back for Pittsburgh. Did they do it against Jacksonville?
Tomorrow will come, ready or not. Letitia Mason. In the next 4 years, she'll get paralegal training and experience in England and Germany as a court reporter. Letitia will receive over $14,000 for college and use it to become a lawyer. Futures like this don't just happen. Today's military has opened new careers to women with the training and experience you need and the opportunities you want. Make it happen in the U.S. Armed Forces.
You've been thinking about getting a digital satellite dish. And thinking some more. Well, think about this. The people at Radio Shack can answer your questions. Plus, now they've got great deals. Own an RCA brand DSS dish with programming for about $1 a day plus installation. Up to 200 channels of select movies and sports available on USSB and DirecTV. Think about it. Better yet, stop thinking about it. You've got questions, we've got answers.
From ESPN Labs, ESPN Net Sports Zone. Updated nearly 1,000 times an hour, it always has something new to make you a better fan. ESPN Net Sports Zone. Technology for you.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime. Last year, great season for the Pittsburgh Steelers as they got back to the Super Bowl as they did in all those years under Chuck Noll. But along the way, they lost at Jacksonville. Now, surely they couldn't go 0-2 lifetime in the land of the Jaguars. Now, could they? Well, things are different this year in Pittsburgh because Jim Miller gets the starting nod from Bill Cowher over Cordell Stewart, over the veteran Mike Tomczak. They all played today, none of them very well. Rod Woodson, remember last year, tore his knee in the first half against Detroit, missed almost the entire season. He just got back to the Super Bowl. Well, just keep that in mind. How would he cover? Well, Woodson gets beat by Willie Jackson on the nice pass for Mark Brunell, Tom.
And it's not horrible coverage by Rod Woodson, but he allows him to get inside without bumping him. The ball is delivered right on time by Brunell, and he delivers it over the outside shoulder so that Jackson can run away to the end zone.
Andre Hastings gets set to receive a punt. The Jaguars, well, this must be the Battle of Hastings because Reggie Clark, folks, that's a penalty. Steelers a good field position. And then they go to their new battering ram, Jerome Bettis, looking larger than life. Left side, look at him, carry him, Jim Taylor-esque for 12 yards. He's a big drive. Same drive, third down, Steelers in the red zone. Jim Miller to the young tight end, Mark Bruner. No. And it's settled for a field goal instead. It's a 7-6 Jacksonville lead. James Littleman Stewart responds. Look at him. Juke, and carry and pummel his way through defenders for 14 yards. He had 77 on the day. Same drive, Brunell to Keenan McCardle. 20-yard touchdown, 14-6. As they say down there, I don't get it. Jaguars. Third quarter, scary moment with Greg Lloyd. Very scary.
Yeah, and Greg Lloyd comes through here. It looks like Rod Woodson runs him over. When we saw another view of it, he didn't look like the leg buckled on him actually before Rod got there.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Gone for the rest of the year with a torn left patella tendon, the all-pro linebacker from the Steelers. Obviously, surgery very soon. What a tough break for the Steelers. Miller then misses an open receiver in the end zone. He was 9 of 17 for 83 yards. With a score of 14-9 in the fourth quarter. Andre Bad Moon Rison, one of the big names brought in by the Jaguars. Brunell hits him with a pass at 23 yards, sets up a 51-yard field goal, 17-9 Jags. Then Mike Tomczak, his first pass, picked off by Kevin Hardy, the rookie. Cordell Stewart came in, was 0 for 2 passing, ran a couple of options, was 3 for 4 rushing. Jacksonville had 4 sacks against the Steelers. Somebody explain this to me. The Jaguars 2-0 at home, lifetime against the Steelers. They win it by the count of 24-9. Tommy, you know, the Steelers obviously bounced back from this last year. But what a difference a year makes. I mean, they have some questions, obviously.
Yeah, the Steelers have some questions, but I think when you look at their football team, they're not the same team that lined up to play in Super Bowl 30. You're talking about a team without Ray Seals. Kevin Green now gone to Carolina. You're talking about them now losing Greg Lloyd, and I think that on defensive side of the football, obviously those moves are going to hurt them, and then they have questions at the quarterback position, and they're missing Van Morse from last year. So this is not the same football team that was within a drive or so of winning Super Bowl 30, and I think that, you know, those people who picked them maybe haven't really looked at that.
Well, Bill Carr will have them together at some point. They're in a division where they can afford to find their sea legs. Yeah. Folks, as you well know, just 2.5 weeks ago, we lost one of our very dear friends and compatriots, Tom Mees, and we'd like to thank everybody for all of their support and their letters of love, especially the people that Tom didn't met. Now, I personally have gotten a lot of letters. ESPN has too. And people asking for this address, so we want to show it to you. There is a trust fund set up for Tom's young daughters, Lauren, who is 8, and Gabriella, who is 4. Just write the address down. Have to do a thing with it. But the Mees Children's Trust, Post Office Box 6811. That's in East Brunswick, New Jersey, 08816-6811. So a lot of people wanted to know that address. It has been set up, so jot that down and do what you like. When we return on NFL Primetime, we have Lawrence Phillips. How would he look at his debut for the Rams? And we have Barry Sanders. I think we know how he would look for the Lions. We'll be back.
Man, this place is loaded with bargains. 2001 diapers? 5 gallons of mayonnaise. Wow! You want a real bargain? Dial 1-800-COLLECT. Save the people you call some serious money. 1-800-COLLECT. Save up to 44%.
Athlete's foot. Why suffer the burning, the itching? Hit it hard with prescription strength Desonex. It has the same medicine that doctors prescribe. Nothing cures better. Nothing. Prescription strength Desonex. Because prescription strength is strong medicine.
Hi, who's this?
Mel.
What are you thinking about, Mel?
Something sweet.
Like what?
Caramel.
Caramel's so different. What would you like to do with it?
I'd cover it with roasted peanuts.
Roasted peanuts and creamy caramel? Wow. You're making me so hungry.
What you want is a payday.
The Wall Street Journal keeps you on the cutting edge with news and insights that can affect you personally and professionally. Subscribe now and have the Journal delivered to your home or office. And with your paid subscription, you'll also receive our free personal finance software to help you make smart decisions. Get 10 weeks of the Journal and the software for only $3.80 a week. Call now, 800-356-9800. That's 800-356-9800 for the Wall Street Journal.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime. Two of the highest scoring teams from last year, the Lions and the Vikings. So many great skilled players, all-pro players, but Herman's Moore popped over the middle by Corey Fuller. Dixon Edward intercepts, and a big play for the Vikes. And another interception. Scott Mitchell picked off by Jeff Brady. Laterals to Dwayne Washington, and he could go all the way. Touchdown Vikes, 32 yards, 7-0 Minnesota. Mitchell looking asleep. And, Tom, there were some flaws.
Yeah, Mitchell having some problems here. Robert Griffith coming on the blitz here. Barry Sanders tries to block it, but Scott Mitchell holds the ball very low so that Griffith has a chance to knock it out when he comes around on the blitz.
However, Detroit's defense answering. Lutherella sacks Warren Moon. John Tierlink already at a 3 schmutz rag day. Loves it. Barry Sanders, you know what you're going to get with him. Barry at 163 yards, many of the mercurial variety. Here's a 20-yard gain, and then on the sidelines, hey, don't you mess with me. After a field goal, it's 10-7 Lions. Late in the second quarter, same score. Warren Moon, look out. Kerwin Waldrop drops Moon. Good news, x-rays on the ankle, negative. Thank goodness, but he did not return. Brad Johnson is the new quarterback, dumps one off to Amp Lee, who Amp Lee goes downfield, but they can't call timeout. There's no timeout left. They can't get the time expired. Throw it to, what? Stop it. Stop the clock. Tick, 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 tick. Chris Carter, well, why didn't we do that? 10-7 Lions. Third quarter, same score. Mitchell rolls out this time. He's going to throw it to Barry Sanders. Left alone, floating in the right flat. And it's a 24-yard pickup before the Vikings finally corral him. But Barry's out of the game on the 2-yard line.
Yeah, you take Barry out on the goal line. You give the ball to Eric Lynch, and Eric Lynch promptly
assigns himself. It's a fumble. He assigns himself a fumble. Then, more questionable play. 3rd down and 5 for the Vikings inside the Lions' 15. Chris Carter, although this is a tough play, Tommy, but he doesn't get the first down.
Well, he doesn't get the first down, but we're watching it in slow motion here. Very difficult for him to turn that ball up and get to the marker.
They set a field goal that ties it at 10. Then 13-10 Lions, a minute 15 to go. Wayne Fonts may start the season 1-0. 3rd and 4, though. Brad Johnson in trouble. Actually, both teams played pretty good defensively, at least on the scoreboard, but Chris Carter, all he does,
gets touchdown.
Touchdown! Just over a minute to go, 17-13 of the Vikes. But Scott Mitchell now looking calm. Herman Moore, 17 yards. Down by 4 to Brett Perriman, 15 yards. To the tight end, David Sloan inside the 25. 1st and 10, Mitchell. Jeff Brady with the second pick of the day. 4 interceptions by the Vikings. Mitchell gets taunted. Doesn't like it. You can understand why. As the Vikings beat the Lions, as they seemingly always do, 6 straight times in the Metrodome, despite 12 for 157 for Herman Moore, despite 162 for Barry Sanders. Robert Smith at a 100-yard day, Chris Carter 8 for 88. The big-name players came through. Minnesota wins at 17-13. We thought this game, Bengals-Rams, could be a good one because you had some great young runners in Kajana Carter. We've never seen him play in the regular season game. Neither have we in Lawrence Phillips, but that's because this was his first regular season game. Lawrence Phillips, welcome to the NFL. It's a fumble, and the Bengals recover, setting up a field goal, 3-0, after Bracey Walker makes the hit. But Rich Brooks says we got some other young guys, like Eddie Kennison. Kennison on a nifty punt return for 40 yards. Sets up Phillips. Welcome to the NFL end zone. Touchdown, 7-3 St. Louis Rams. Bengals offense starts to slow down. Kajana Carter, nowhere. Hit by Roman Candle Pfeiffer. Carter swarmed by DeMarco Farr.
Yeah, you have to realize that Kajana Carter's playing behind a relatively young Bengal line. You see DeMarco Farr get through the line there. Kajana Carter's a great cutback runner, but he needs some holes to run through.
14 carries for 14 yards for Kajana in his first regular season game in the NFL. Of course, he missed all last year with the injury. Now, it's on the banks of the Mississippi, so you know a guy named Sawyer. Not Tom Sawyer, but Corey Sawyer returns the punt. He could go a lot of the way. 62 yards, setting up a field goal. It's 7-6. The Bengals pinned down in their own territory, 3rd and 15, and this is Jeff Blake. Watch the top of your screen. There's no ball. There's no ball. There's no ball. There's the ball. 46 yards to Slim Pickens. Sets up a field goal by Doug Batts in the Pelfrey, 9-7. Then Blake. There's the ball. Darnay Scott. Touchdown, 16-7. Bengals. But Antonio Goss, just signed this week, blocks the punt. And the Rams are in field goal range. They kick one to make it 16-10. Fourth quarter, Jeff Blake. This pass ill-advised, and it's picked off by Keith Lyle. Dead. Let him go, Tom.
Yeah, and Keith Lyle comes back and look at him pick up his blocking here. The kind of throw that Jeff Blake does not want to make often, giving the ball up like this. And Lyle spots a little seam to his right. And it's all right to run out of gas after you run about 110.
Yes, it is. 61-yard return sets up a field goal. After the kickoff for the field goal, David Dunn, watch this. It's boom! Punt by Keith Crawford. Jermaine Ross, a special team star, makes the fumble recovery. Phillips with a touchdown. 16 points off the turnovers. The takeaways. Hey, this is what the Rams did last year. The takeaways and the undefeated September. And the Rams beat the Bengals 26-16, Tom. And Cincy kind of puzzling today.
Well, they waited 18 months to get Kajana Carter into the lineup. 14 carries for 14 yards.
Yeah, the offense really didn't bail them out when they should have. And the Rams, just like they did last year, off to a good start when we return. All right, now the big teams play the late games, like the Green Bay Packers. MVP last year, Brett Favre. He's going to have Keith Jackson all year. All I can say is, war netty. Dolphins and Patriots, Dan Marino, Jimmy Johnson. Game 1, new regime. Tough to win at Mile High Stadium. Jets are young. Real tough.
Yeah, but expectations so high, and that's what the problem is. After last year's 3-13 season, the Jets went on a wild spending spree. Then a shaky preseason. The first-string offense did not score a single touchdown. Still, new quarterback Neil O'Donnell says the new offense is all coming together. But there was concern it could all come apart against Denver. Both Jumbo Elliott and Dave Williams, the two free agent tackles, not able to play because of injuries. Let's take a look at the activity. John Elway playing in his 191st game as a Bronco, tying a team record held by, who's that, Tommy? Tommy, who's that?
Anytime, Jackson.
Number 57. 7-0 Broncos, first minute of the second quarter. Elway to the former Giant Ed McCaffrey, 39 yards. Broncos up 14-0. Second quarter, Jets next possession. O'Donnell back to pass. Jeff Graham, first year, of course, with the Jets, overthrown, intercepted by Lionel Washington. First cornerback INT for a Bronco since November of 1994. Jets next possession. O'Donnell loses it. Michael Dean Perry says, I got it. Broncos take advantage. On the first play after the turnover, Anthony Miller. Anthony Miller's got it. Anthony Miller's at the 20. Anthony Miller's at the 10. Anthony Miller's got a touchdown. Broncos up 28-0. Tommy, how about the Jets' offensive line? What do you have?
Well, the defensive line of the Broncos, we talked about being healthy going into this season. Dan Williams, and it's all in the first half. Sacking Neil O'Donnell, that's number 1. Then Alfred Williams, that's number 3 in the first half. And then Jumpy Geathers right there getting great penetration and fighting his way in. And that was the 7th sack of the first half.
O'Donnell, just 5 completions in that first half. As Tommy mentioned, sacked 7 times. Oh, boy. Denver's special teams doing some hitting as well. Von Hebron and Darius Johnson on Ron Carpenter. Bang. Third quarter, Jets down 31-0. Keyshawn Johnson, his first game in the National Football League. Throw it to me. Throw it to me. Throw it to me. I'm wide open. Throw it to me. Please, please, please throw it to me. Late in the fourth quarter, Frank Reich in there for O'Donnell. To Johnson, 50 yards. His only catch of the game. No matter. O'Donnell, why did I leave Pittsburgh? 31-6 is the final. 9 sacks. That's a big story for Denver. 8 on O'Donnell. The Jets' offensive teams in total shambles. Chargers and the Seahawks. Chargers wearing number 22 on their helmets in honor of Rodney Culver, who died in the Value jet crash in May. Chargers at their own 37. Stan Humphries, the screen to Leonard Russell. Natron Means, of course, now in Jacksonville. Russell getting a lot of playing time in this one. 20 yards on the play. Still driving. Humphries to Alfred Papuno. Yes. 12 yards on that one. 3rd and goal at the 2. Humphries focused. Avoids the rush. Good thing he was focused because they're coming at him, incoming, but he stays up. Tony Martin, Chargers up by the score of 7-0. Seahawks, though, come right back. Rick Meyer to Carlester Crumpler. We'll say it again, Carlester Crumpler. They call him CC. We'll call him CC. 25 yards on that play. Same drive, second quarter. 3rd and goal at the 6. Meyer sees a hole. What do we have? Well, we got a flag flying. Meyer touchdown or not? Gary Markwright says no penalty. Count the touchdown. Bobby Ross says, oh, man, what about the call? Tommy, how about the Chargers running back situation?
Well, running back by committee today, Aaron Hayden did not start, and saw Leonard Russell make a big play earlier. Terrell Fletcher here gets a huge hole, makes a move. Right there, picks up 14 yards, and then Hayden will get his chance. Makes some more nice moves in the interior line and picks up 13.
Now, just before the end of the half, Darian Gordon. You see the time left in the half. Gordon reverses field. It's going to be a punt return here of 20 yards. And just before the end of the half, John Carney.
Sheila McRae, Audrey Meadows. Good night, everybody.
53-yard field goal. Carney had 5 field goals in a ball game. Tommy, what do you have?
Well, Rick Meyer's still having his problems, still learning, still young. Here he's going to feel the pressure. He's going to get rid of the football, but it's called for intentional grounding. And then early in the third quarter, he overthrows Joey Galloway here. Terrence Shaw with the interception. You know, he threw 20 interceptions last year. He threw 2 today. Not a good start.
All Chargers from there. Leonard Russell takes it in from 6 yards out. His first TD is a Charger. San Diego wins it by the final score of 29-7. So Seattle still hasn't won it. Jack Murphy since 1990. San Diego has won 9 of the last 10 overall between these two. Of course, last year the Seahawks finished up with 6 wins, Chris, in their final 8 games. A lot of hope coming into this season. Not a real good start for them.
No, and the Chargers, an interesting team. They really changed a lot of the personnel, but a good start, certainly defensively, for San Diego. Well, we'll kind of start what we have for Jimmy Johnson. It's still hard to believe Don Shula is not coaching in the NFL, but a new era begins in Miami, and Jimmy Johnson against Bill Parcells in the AFC East, just as they were for a while in the NFC East. But if Jimmy got off to a good start for New England, that must have meant there would be a tuna melt. Here we go in very hot and steamy Miami, and 2 coaches, 2 Super Bowl coaches, the combined 4 rings among them, exchanging pleasantries before the game, but it was not pleasant when Lewis Oliver picks it up. Drew Bledsoe still looking like he did last year for much of... No, Drew, no way, make that tackle. It's a fumble, but Sean Hill gets it. Touchdown, 7-0 Miami. Second quarter, 10-0 for Jimmy Johnson. Sean Jefferson fumbled away a possession. Bledsoe goes to Jefferson, and what happens again? It's a fumble again. Tim Bowens makes the hit. Meanwhile, Tom, the Dolphins wanted to run.
And Miami wanted to dominate the line of scrimmage. Here you see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar forcing his way through the line of scrimmage, and then more muscle with Billy Milner and Chris Gray as Bernie Parmalee gets a 17-yard gain.
Dolphins continue to run second and goal from the 3. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the skyhook. Touchdown, 17-3 Miami. 18 rushes and 7 passes. Well, this is what Jimmy is going to do. But they're ahead. Dolphins come out throwing just when New England makes some adjustments. Dan Marino to Stanley Pritchett, one of those young receivers. Pritchett goes all the way to the 44-yard line of New England, a 53-yard game. Then from the 17, Marino, Pritchett, and you talk about Johnny on the spot. You saw the one fumble. It's a fumble, but there's Miami again. Scott Miller, touchdown, 24-3. But the Patriots rally on 4th and 1. Nobody goes for it on 4th down more than Bill Parcells. Bledsoe to Ben. Amazing Technicolor dream coats. And he dives into the end zone on a beautiful play. It's 24-10. But you know what the Patriots did today? Bledsoe never got the ball out of the infield. A couple of dink shots to shortstop, and that was about it. As Tim Bowen stopped Curtis Martin there, only 23 yards. Zach Thomas, the rush. Bledsoe throws it away. Huge game for the youngster, Zach Thomas. The reason they cut Jack Del Rio. Late in the 4th, Bledsoe to the end zone. And Terrell Buckley has his, well, again, Johnny on the spot. The ball bouncing the way for Jimmy Johnson. Bledsoe having trouble. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he was tough in the paint. He went outside, hit a couple of jumpers. All told, 115 yards. And Jimmy Johnson says, hey, we are 1-0 as Dolphins coach. An impressive win for Miami. They went up by the count of 24-10 in a game with Dan Marino only threw for 176 yards. But the 4 turnovers, impressive for Jimmy Johnson. Drew Bledsoe at times looked like he was short-arming the ball. Jimmy, pleased.
And Marino said, you know, he wanted to top it off with a game ball to me for my first game ball. And I was very sincere when I told the guys. I've had a lot of big wins before, a lot of big wins. But this game ball, being the head coach, the first win with the Miami Dolphins means as much to me as any game ball I've ever received.
Out to San Francisco, where guess who threw the coin? Jack Kemp, Republican vice presidential nominee. Hey, he and Jim Mora were roommates at Occidental College. Kemp was on the taxi squad for the Niners in the 50s before he began his career with the Buffalo Bills. Steve Young to Jerry Rice, slam for 17 yards. George Seifert watches Tommy Bardell punch it in, 7-0. Then Steve Young, this is what he does. He did get the ball out of the infield today. Let him go for 22 yards down to the 45-yard line. Then play action. Young buying some time, fires it to Rice, but Eric Allen, one of the new corners there to tip it away, prevent the big play. 4 plays, well, he was there last year, but still newer corners. 4 plays later, same play. We're going to try it again. And watch Rice.
Yeah, Jerry Rice with a great job of shielding Eric Allen and then tucking the ball away so quickly that he doesn't lose it before he hits the ground.
Now watch this. Watch this, Tom. He's running. That's what you do for the running game. You give it to Jerry Rice. His 10th rushing touchdown, 157 on the year, 200 just on his career. 200 just around the corner. Kevin Mitchell, first NFL start, sheds a block.
Yeah, a great job of defense by the 49ers, something that they did last year, playing the run. You see Kenny Norton Jr. stepping up and making a play inside.
Then Young to J.J. Stokes. Spins away from Mark McMillan. A good run after the catch, 13 yards. 4 plays later, Derek LaVille punches it in for 4 yards out. So remembering that they lost 11-7 last year at home to the Saints, the Niners jumped on New Orleans early. The first half, they had 85 yards rushing. Then some scary moments here. Ronaldo Turnbull, helmet to helmet with Steve Young. Young gets hurt, and I think it's time for Elvis to enter the building. Gerback did. Turned out to be a cut to the chin, and you know, Steve Young, it's like a prize fighter. Bring him back. Bill Walsh, he's back. The Niners, they're back. The Niners beat the Saints by the count of 27-11. As we told you, Jerry Rice with the rushing touchdown. And Steve Young had 52 yards rushing and 199 yards passing.
Most important stat, the 49ers ran the ball well today.
Then one of the other contenders for the big crown, the Green Bay Packers in the Bay of Pigs. The Battle of the Bays. Tony Dungy, new coach of Tampa Bay, Brett Favre. Well, Tampa beat Green Bay down on this field last year. Early 3-0 Green Bay. Nilo Sylvan deep in his end zone. He gets run out of bounds by the entire Packer team. Tony Dungy says, you got to use your head there, young man. Now, the Buccaneers with poor field position, and you do not want this to happen. Reggie White recovers the fumble of Jerry Ellison, and Brett Favre takes over. 1st and 10 at the 28. You can't shorten the field for them. Dorsey Levens. It's a fumble, but Antonio Freeman is there to bring it all the way down to the 1. Next play. He's there all year, and watch the stats he's going to have. Let me tell you about Kip Jackson. 10-0 of the Packers.
Yeah, and you watch this run here by Edgar Bennett. He's going to fall down, get up, reverse field, but look at Brett Favre. Spot shadow right there, throws a great block and causes that big game. That's what builds a champion, your quarterback willing to do whatever he has to win football games.
Well, this is more the way they diagram it for a quarterback to do it. Back to passes Favre. There he is, Wardenetta, Kit Jackson. 2nd touchdown. It's 17-3 the Packers. Under a minute to go in the first half. Favre, he scrambles, buys time. Kit Jackson, he could go all the way. He's going to like it up there all year. 3 touchdowns from Favre to Jackson, 24-3.
Key to this play is that Brett Favre keeps his head up as he's moving through the pocket, unlike some quarterbacks who don't see where they're throwing.
Jackson, 4 catches for 71 yards, 3 TDs, all in the first half. Tony Dungy not pleased. Why? Well, his offense going nowhere, and he knows that's what the changes he's going to have to make. Favre to the other tight end, Mark Chmura. Chewy down to the 1. Next play, Dorsey Levens. Touchdown from Favre. And the Packers make no mistake today, going on to roll the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by the count of 34-3. But your big stat here, the Packers forced 6 turnovers. Last year, as good as they were, they forced only 16 all year. Unbelievable. Today, they get 6 in 1 game. They pick it up in that area. Wow. 34-3, the Packers. As we go inside the numbers, Brett Favre has now reached 15,000 yards for his career. He's the 3rd fastest ever to do it, tying with Joe Namath, getting to that mark in 66 games. Only Dan Marino in 56 games, and a surprise, Jim Everett, 64. Got there faster, Jim Kelly did in 68. If you tie with Joe Namath, I think Brett will like that. When we return, game balls. Don't tell me where you're going, Tom. We'll be back.
Primetime Players is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT. The way we call collect today.
You know, my primetime players are the Cleveland Browns fans. For the first time in 46 years, no opening weekend with the Browns playing football. You'll never be forgotten. When you get your team the next time, you come back with a vengeance. Not the players' fault, they know that. But the Cleveland Brown fans, we feel for everybody in Northern Ohio as the season starts. Billy, what do you have?
Here's what I have. My primetime player, Green Bay tight end Keith Jackson, the 31-year-old. A game ball for catching 3 touchdown passes in Green Bay's big win. Tommy?
My primetime player is John Elway of the Denver Broncos. Had a great start to the day. Got rid of the Jets early. The 2 interceptions of no consequence. We'll be back.
Our honor roll on on NFL Primetime Week 1. 100-yard rushers, Barry Sanders. Despite the fact the Lions lost Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, boy, Jimmy wanted him, and now we know why. Robert Smith and the Vikings win. Terry Allen and the Redskins lost. And Jamal Anderson for the Falcons, but that was all late. Nobody threw for 300 yards today. Herman Moore, Terrence Mathis, Larry Self, centers all had 100-yard receiving days for week number 1.